Hello, in this session we will see some basic NURB surface tools. So these tools will help us create NURB surface from curves with the help of curves. So we will see extrude, revolve and loft. We are not going to see all the tools over here, whichever is going to be useful in our upcoming modeling objects. Those tools we will see whenever those left out tools were necessary. At that time we will see, because keep on seeing the tools not going to take us anywhere. We will go with less number of tools. I'll go with a curve, a circle or a CV curve. I'll rotate it. I'll press J and rotate to get a 90-degree rotation. I'll just keep it here. I have the curve over here, NURB circle 1, curve 1. I'll select the NURB circle. I'll go to the tool setting of extrude, edit, reset settings. There is style, result position, pivot, orientation, rotation, scale, curve, range and output geometry. There are some options below these topics. So the style, I'll go with the distance. Style, I will go with the distance and I'll give a specific distance, something like 10 unit to be extruded. So which direction it should extrude? Profile normal is going to be, this is going to be the up. So normally extrude is going to be in that direction. Otherwise I can specify a direction or a mix of direction. For now I'll go with the profile normal. Then I have cubic and linear. When we are working with different curves, we will see cubic and linear when the bend comes. Now we are not going to see all these things because we have only one curve. Then we have curve range, complete and partial. At the bottom we have output geometry, NURBS, polygons or Bezier. For now, whatever we are going to create, we want in NURBS, we will control in NURBS. Then later stages, after getting the result, we will convert into polygons or Bezier. Mostly we will convert it into polygons. So I'll go here, I'll click distance, extrude length 10, I'm applying. So there are 10 units of extruded cylindrical surface created. Now we can see there is a third object getting created. It is going to be a surface. By looking at the icon we know it is a surface. I'll just move the surface. Still the NURB circle is available. So now when we create an object using the surface tools, the curves are going to be connected till we delete the history to the surface. So when I manipulate it, when I edit it, we can see the surface is connected. Now we can change the shape, we can manipulate like we want. So they are going to be connected. Now I'll select this curve and this curve. So here I want to create a tube in this shape and which should travel like this curve. So this is called the profile curve and this is called the path. So when I go to the tube, we will leave the flat. Flat is going to have the option. The tube is going to have more options enabled. So when we see the tube, we will understand flat. So when I go to the tube, this is going to be the default settings. I'll first select the profile curve, shift select the path and apply. So when I apply over here, I get a weird shape. That is because of the direction of the curve. So when I select the curve, control vertex, I can see this is going to be the first point, this is going to be the second point, and it goes like this. When I rotate this curve, I can see it is rotating in a different direction. So I'll go and do a center pivot. I'll just rotate the curve. I'll give -90. Now when I see the object, I get a curve shape over here, but the problem is it is black. It is black because of the normals are flipped. In polygon we saw the normals, one side is going to be black, another side is going to be gray. Here the normal is flipped. By looking at the color we know. So how do we flip the normal? Either we have to flip the curve or flip the surface. We can do both. When I go to the surface, I have reverse direction. Under the reverse direction we have some options. We will go with the reset settings, and then under the curve I have reverse direction. We don't have anything except the keep original. So both these things, reverse direction and surface reverse direction, I'll keep it in my shelf because these we may use regularly. Now I'll come here and reverse the surface direction. You can see it turns into gray. Otherwise I can go and select the curve and reverse the direction. You can see it is turning gray. Either way we can do that. Now I will take it out. So this is going to be the shape with the last extrude settings. When I go to at path and apply, we can see the surface is getting created near the path but in a offsetted distance. To avoid this, we have to go to component, apply. We can see the profile is getting created at the path. So when we are going with component, because this affects the pivot, depending on the pivot only this result is coming, we can go with add profile. I can move it. I'll go with add profile. You can see the object getting created over here. Depending on that, rotation of the surface is different. So we can see when it gets created over here, it is looking like this. When it is getting created over here, it is looking like this. Then we have rotation. I'll give something like 45, apply. You can see it got rotated 45 degrees. If I want scale, you can see there is a scale happening gradually. I'll take this rotation so you can see it clearly how the scale is happening, where from bottom to top the scale is happening. Orientation, we are going with profile normal. This is going to be the normal of the profile. Otherwise we can go with path direction. So when you are going with path direction, apply direction of the path, it will take instead of profile normal. I'll go with 1. I'll take this curve up, the surface up. I'll again come here, path direction. We can see we got the tube over here. So depending on our shape, the tube is going to change its shape. So when I come here, I scale the circle, I control the components of the circle. So the surface is getting affected because till the history is not deleted. So to delete the history, I have to come here, select the surfaces wherever I want to delete the history. For example, for this, I don't want the change to happen. I'll go to edit, delete by type, history. Now I'll come to the curve, or I'll come to this path. So both the things we can change, path as well as curve. I'll go to freeze transform. I am moving the path. I'm changing the direction. We can see curves are getting, the surface is getting affected. So when I do this, we can see this path is not getting, this surface is not getting affected. Why the surface is not getting affected? Because we created using this distance style where we didn't use a path curve. So this is all about extrude options. We can create different objects using profile and path curves. When we are creating some objects in the coming classes, we will see how this can be used in different ways. So this, we don't have to worry about NURBS, polygons or Beziers for now. We'll always stick to this NURBS. So this is going to be the result out of extrude. Extrude can be done in any direction. It can be extruded in any way. We can just rotate our objects to get the results we want. I'll delete this for now. Edit, reset settings. Then I'll go to loft, and then we'll come to revolve. When I go to loft, I get some options. So what are the options I'm getting? Edit, reset settings, parameterization. So the parameterization, in the first introduction to NURBS, we saw what is parameterization. So how the values, the distance are measured, that is what the parameterization is. Now we don't have to worry much about this uniform and chord length parameterization, but whatever we create, make sure all the objects are having the same type of parameterization. So using loft, we are going to create surfaces. So the surfaces which are going to get connected at the later stages have to be of the same parameterization. So that's all about parameterization for now. Later when we get any issues, we will see those topics in details. Then I have auto reverse and close. So this we will see surface degree, linear and cubic. So like extrude, we have output geometry NURBS, curve ranges, complete and partial. So first I'll come here, I will create some curves, curvy objects, something like this. I'll duplicate it, duplicate and scale. So I have four circles right now, each with 8 control vertex. We know by default a circle will have 8 control vertices, 2, 4, 6, 8, right? Good. So now I am going to create a loft. So loft is nothing but, before this we will see a simple loft. From this curve to this curve, it is going to create a surface. Uniform, auto reverse, line, everything is on, apply. So from here to here, the loft is getting created. So how this is happening? I'll come here, center pivot. When I rotate this, you can see what is happening. Here the curves are going diagonal because at the beginning it got the first control vertex. Here also the first control vertex is in the same position, so it is creating straight lines. So if I want something like a twisted object, I have to just twist any curve I have. So these loops are going to be twisted, right? So this is going to be the main purpose of loft. So you can do loft from one curve to another. Center pivot, Control D. I'll come here, select these two curves, do a loft. See, now we have perfect lines. So these lines are happening because the control points in both the curves are same. So for example, if I increase or decrease the control points of these curves, for example, I'll select the curve, I'll go to curves, rebuild curve, edit, reset settings. I will create something like 12 number of spans, apply. If you don't understand what this rebuild curve is, before 2 sessions, you can see, I think it is session 14 or something, where we saw about rebuilding curves. This is going to increase the number of vertex in the way we want. Now we want it uniform, apply. So this is going to have 12 vertices. This is going to have around 2, 4, 5 vertices. So from here to here, I'm going to create a loft. I'll go here, loft, same setting, apply. So the problem here is I selected in a reverse direction. If I have selected this first and this second, I would have got the normal flip, but by mistake I select like this. Either we have to reverse one curve or the surface. I'll just go with the surface. I'll reverse the surface. So don't worry when you see black color surface. Now I'll come here. Now it got 12 vertices and this one is having less number of vertices. So because of this, we couldn't get a nice set of lines. So even in the old one, the number of lines have changed. So we can come here. When I change over here, because of the history, even the copy changed the number of spans. See here, when I change the number of spans, you can see it got changed over here. I'll just come here, delete by type history. This also I'll put in the shelf. Here in the history I have this. I'll just delete this history of this surface. Again I'll select this, apply. I'll increase the number of spans over here. Curves, rebuild, 12. I'll select both these things, loft, apply. Now you see both these curves where the first one is straight and here it is uneven, and we don't know the number of spans which are going to get created over here. Right click, control vertex, we see dots in the center. Here also we see them, the hulls or the control vertices, where we can control the surface. This happened because of the section spans. If you want more sections, we can get more sections, something like 4 sections I want. I'll go with the cubic, apply. We can get sections in the middle. So if we have something like if you want something like a curved area, which is not flat like this, which is an uneven surface. If you want an uneven surface, I will just rebuild it. Always try to rebuild to get some neat mesh flow, because later stages, instead of changing your mesh flow, better rebuild at the beginning. I'll go for a center pivot, curves, rebuild. So whatever the options we are having over here will be available in your shelf. So this rebuild, because we are using it regularly, rebuild the curve. So when I click, we are going to have 12 spans over here because of the settings which is available. So now we have 12 spans. Shift D, they are going to have equal number of spans. So now I will select some of these curves. I'll go for a soft selection. I'll increase the value to something like 35. I will have an uneven surface over here, right? So this is a surface I am going to get right now. I'll select this one, this one, this one. We are going to select in an order. We will see what will happen if you don't select in an order. I'll go to Loft, Reset Settings. I'll go with Cubic. Section spans, we don't want anything. We know what to do right now. Reverse, center pivot, and move it aside. Again, I'll select them. I'll go to Linear and press Apply. Now you can see, even if I press Cubic and apply, you can see I'm getting a weird surface because I didn't select in an order. Now it is thinking I have to go from here to here, again from here to here I have to come. So first we have to show it that order which we want at the end. So I'm selecting one by one and pressing apply. So now it is reversed. I don't want cubic. I will go with linear, apply, select the object, reverse the direction. So this surface is having hard edges or hard corners because it is in a linear mode. This one is in cubic mode. So we saw what is the section span. Apply, we'll just move it aside, change it, right? So this is the result we are going to get after doing a loft operation. So we can increase the number of spans or we can decrease the number of spans. When I come here, I'll duplicate this mesh. I'll keep it next to it. This mesh I can rebuild. Like how we rebuilded that curve, we can rebuild a surface. I'll go to Surface, Rebuild, Edit, Reset Settings. So this the same as what we saw in a curve. Like here we have two direction U and V. Here it is not going in a single direction. Here it is going to be in two direction. So number of spans U and number of spans V. So in V how many segments you want and in U how many segments you want. It is something like horizontal and vertical. I will tell something like 10 and 10. Apply. We can see our surface got more segments now because of this number of UV rebuilding. Again I can come here, keep corners. I am asking it to keep corners. These corners will be kept. When I give less number of spans, apply, you can see the number of spans are less, so the mesh count is also going to be less. Depending on our need, we can create our surfaces. For example, I can go with linear values, apply. So when I go with linear values, you can see we are going to get hard surfaces. So all these surfaces which we created using these three curves are still intact. So the history is not deleted except one or this history got deleted. So others are still intact to the curves which we created. So whatever the change we are going to do over here is going to affect the surface. At the end, when you are comfortable with your model like how you wanted, you can delete, modify. After your modification is done, you can just delete the history. So now the same curves, same surface, but depending on the mesh flow or the number of spans, we are getting different results. So when I take this mesh display on, we know the shapes are having difference between them because of the number of spans as well as the way they got created, either cubic or linear. So we saw this lofting in curves. When I come here, I'm going to create a thick surface. So something is going to have some volume, something is going to be thick, not a plain surface, right? So for example, here I want to create something like a cylinder using this with this as the thickness. So I'm going to select them in order one by one. I'll go to Surface, Loft, under the Loft, Edit, Reset Settings. I'm selecting them by order, apply, getting a result. At the bottom you can see it is open. So if I want to close loft, I'll press close, apply. Now we can see we have something like a donut, elongated donut over here. When I select close and linear, I can get a result something like this. When I apply some sections, something like 4 sections, so now still it is connected. We can do changes. We can even manipulate the components. I will take out this soft selection. The components are selected. Components can be manipulated. They can be animated. All these things can be animated and baked. Later stages we will see what is baking. So in any way you can animate them, do whatever you want with the curves you have. Till you delete the history, all the surfaces will be in your control. So this is the advantage in using curves to model some NURB surfaces. We will have some control till the end, and multiple objects can be controlled. And here we can see a clear difference by changing the options and creating loft surfaces. Always don't forget to select the curves in an order. If you select in a wrong order, I'll select these two and then select these two. I'll go to apply. You can see it looks different. If I want in that order, I can select and get the shape, but this is not the shape I wanted. So select in an order. Then we have revolve. Under the revolve we have some options, but revolve is very simple and easy to use. I'm going to create an object, something like a circle, right? I'll create this circle, and I'll create a smaller circle over here. So I will bring translation y, xy. I'll create a single line over here. I'll press X for a grid snap, just a single line. Curves, cut. Now I have half circle over here. I just want this part. I don't want anything else. I just want this. Now we will attach all together. Curves, attach. We got a curve attached, but I don't want this to happen. Curves, attach, connect, multiple knots keep, apply. Now we have a connected object. So this we will delete. We will keep it over here. So I'm going to keep it like this. Okay, I'm going to keep it like this at the center of the X. I'll just come here, move these curves a bit back, and just creating a bend over here. I'll keep it in the center of the pivot. Is very important when we are working with revolve. Surface, revolve, edit, reset settings. I want the rotation to happen in Y direction. If I want to rotate this is going to be the Y direction, so I want to rotate in Y direction. If I am rotating in X direction, it is going to rotate like this, so I don't want that to happen. Pivot is object. Okay, I can use the object's pivot, otherwise I can use a preset and move the pivot away from the object. Object pivot is more comfortable. Surface degree, we know what is cubic and linear. Start sweep, angle, end sweep, that we will see later. Okay, segments, let it be like that. I'll just press apply. Now I see something like a bulb got created, but it is black. We know what to do with black objects. Just turn it. So now we have a curve which is revolved and created a surface. So we can edit the surface as well as the curve. I'll keep this surface somewhere else over here. Again, I'll select this. I can create a circle which is half 180 degrees. Apply. Now this is going to be a half circle. Here we can see a half circle because of this sweep angle. We know what is linear. We may get something like a rough faced object. Sorry, I'll go with 360. Linear segments, I'll remove to 6. Now we see something like this. 6 segments and hard faces, 8 segments and hard faces. So depending on our need, we can create our revolved objects. Here also axis preset, we can go for a free one. We'll just go with Y. So see, if I go with X, see what is going to happen. Apply. We are getting a different result. So it is going to take the X orientation. I'll come here, go with Z. You can see this as the direction. So it's like cutting, something like this it is going to give us. So the same one single curve is giving us many results. This curve is always editable. We can see how the curve is affecting our surfaces. We can convert into anything till we are conformed with what we want, right? So there is nothing complicated till what we saw. So only 3 tools under Surface, Extrude, Revolve and Loft. The Loft is mostly used when we are creating smooth surfaces like a car body or anything which needs a smooth terrain or anything which comes to our mind which is smooth. Then Revolve is mostly used to make cylindrical objects or radial objects which are mostly round or cylindrical in shape. Extrude, we saw, Extrude is mostly used to create an object in a particular path or in a particular shape. So there we use extrude. So we can mingle or like combine these tools and get results. So you can try something like a toothpaste or a sink, toilet sink, wash basin, something like what we created, a bulb, slippers, so many things you can create. The next class also we will see some surface tools. After that we will see how to convert these surfaces into polygonal objects, right? So always keep it a habit, keep your regularly used tools under a single shelf. See here we have different combination from different menus, like here these are from modify, some are from curve, some are from NURB, some are from edit. So this shelf is more useful. Please utilize all the available facilities under the software, not only Maya, in any software there will be so many options. Don't leave anything because maybe you don't know that, but they would have spent a lot of time creating those gizmos, tools and options. So please check their usefulness. Thank you. That's all for today's session. We will see in the next class. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and if you like the video, please like it. If you have any comments, if you have any doubts, please comment below. Thank you.